Hello everyone and welcome to my first Versus series, or reviews depending on what you'd like to call it. We are doing World of Warcraft versus Star Wars The Old Republic. Today we will be covering content, story, quest lines, sandbox, raids, and gameplay. Or instances depending on what you wish to call that part. First thing, the content. Now the content is quite a simple winner here. World of Warcraft wins in the terms of its content. Now, you may be wondering why World of Warcraft. It is a simple answer. World of Warcraft has been around for years compared to Star Wars The Old Republic. There are much more things to do at this current time, and most of the time it's quite entertaining, such as events or funny quest lines, monthly events for the World of Warcraft calendar, which is a nice thing to do when you want to take a break from your classic leveling system. Star Wars The Old Republic does not have this. The only time when you can have events is if you are part of a roleplay guild to meet up on a planet or station. Now, as for the story part, Star Wars The Old Republic is the winner here, not because each class has its own story to it, but because it keeps you entertained and you actually feel a struggle between light and dark side choices. Plus, depending on who you spare and do not spare, this can drastically change the fate of the story. Unlike World of Warcraft's, although in some quests they reach the same amount of story immersion, Star Wars The Old Republic still wins this round. Now, we come to probably one of the most critical parts for any MMO or MMORPG in history, the sandbox content. In order for a game to feel both fun and feel like there are a lot of things to do, the game must have a large variety of exploration into it, such as like areas within the map. World of Warcraft wins this section of exploration. As for why, Star Wars The Old Republic actually limits your exploration on the planet. If you remember right, at one of their conventions, the developers said they would in fact make the planets feel planet-sized. However, they did not succeed at this. You can't even go past the edge of the map without it giving you a warning to turn back once you explore all the areas of the map anyways. World of Warcraft, due to this game being around for so long, it has much more exploration that Star Wars The Old Republic does. Plus the fact that you can travel to the actual edge of the map and beyond without a warning to turn back is quite fun and feels like you'll have complete freedom in the game. As both Horde, Alliance, and Neutral, you can still travel into the same zones as the other faction does. Star Wars does not do this, from my understanding. As for raids and instances, World of Warcraft did not have very much when it first launched, but Star Wars The Old Republic did. Now, this Versus series is not debating on which one has the most instances and raids at first launch, but instead, it is deciding the amount of raids and instances as of right now on May 19th, 2013. World of Warcraft wins in this section too, merely because it has 3 expansions right now from the first game, and each one of them added quite a lot of instances and raids. However, I have a strong feeling Star Wars will eventually have more instances and raids in the very far future, if it stays alive that long. Last but not least, gameplay overall. Star Wars The Old Republic and WoW come to a tie at this. Both skill bars have a set of 12 each per skill bar. Both of them are repetitive with the grinding, Both games have their own interesting way in terms of immersion for action combat. Plus, the player versus environment or enemy and player versus player are quite easy to tie right there. All in all, World of Warcraft absolutely obliterates Star Wars: The Old Republic at this current time. There are much more things to do, much more exploration. Anyways, thank you for watching. This is Nuva 911 signing off.